It's a new year! Can I get a Hoya? Hoya? Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. Better Call Saul was nominated for 53 Primetime Emmys without winning a single one. Apple Watch sales in 2020 amounted to approximately $30.6 billion compared to the whole Swiss watch market exports of approximately $16 billion. In 2018, engineers with the New Jersey Department of Transportation had to reverse engineer a steel bridge for a rehabilitation project. They did this because the files with the original plans were destroyed in the collapse of the World Trade Center on 9/11. Avril Lavigne recorded the chorus for Girlfriend in several different languages to appeal to foreign markets. It was recorded in Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, German, Japanese, and Mandarin, as well as a version in Hindi that was ultimately scrapped. India has a vast and rich dinosaur fossil bed that remains unexplored. Hundreds of fossilized dinosaur nests have been found in India, and exploration of them could expand our understanding of them. Unfortunately, the country does not have a facility that can do the deep cleaning the fossils require. In 2006, the movie Blazing Saddles, the 1974 American satirical comedy western, was found to be culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant by the Library of Congress. It has since been preserved in the National Film Registry. In the 1890s, the US government created the Alaska Reindeer Service in an attempt to persuade Alaskan natives to become reindeer herders. Reindeer were imported from Siberia, and Sami herders were brought from Norway to teach the Alaskan natives. The photo of Salvador Dali jumping and painting while water and live cats fly through the air took 5 hours and 26 tries because they couldn't get the timing right. The floating objects hung from wires were held up off camera. Dali's canvas frame was empty in the pic. He painted it in later. Clovers used to be part of every lawn as it was cheap and easy to maintain. After World War II, pesticide companies declared it as a weed, and up until recently, it's been removed from lawns. The black hole TON 618 is so big at 66 billion solar masses, a new term had to be invented to describe it: the ultramassive black hole. Darwin, Australia, at 17 per 10,000 people, is the broken jaw capital of the world. Prior to making A Beautiful Mind, Ron Howard developed a different film about a man overcoming schizophrenia. Laws of Madness was an inspirational film about Michael Laudor, a Yale law student graduate living with schizophrenia. But the film was called off when Laudor murdered his girlfriend. While worker ants only live about 1 year, queen ants can live up to 30 years. A mule always has a donkey father and a horse mother. An offspring of a horse father and a donkey mother is called a hinny. Amateur radio operators are able to speak directly to astronauts on the International Space Station. Low-power radio equipment and small antennas can be used to establish communications to the ISS. This mostly takes place during their scheduled evening free time. Gingering is a practice of making an old horse appear young and lively by inserting a sprig of ginger into its anus, which makes it carry its tail high. Does this work for humans, like if I did it in the morning instead of my cup of coffee? What? Sierra Leone has only had one elected Muslim president since its independence, despite being a country with a Muslim majority. E equals mc squared is not the full Einstein equation, and only works for objects that aren't moving. The full equation is E squared equals mc squared equals plus p times c squared, where p represents the momentum of the object in question. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's a fact. Teflon used in non-stick pans was accidentally discovered by a 27-year-old engineer at DuPont while researching refrigerants in 1938. After receiving 2 arrows to the face at the Battle of Neville's Cross, King David of Scotland fled and tried to hide under a bridge. When he was eventually spotted by enemies, he managed to fight back and knocked out 2 of his captor's teeth. He actually survived and lived 25 more years. I used to make YouTube videos till I took an arrow to the face. See, we're changing the meme. That's an old meme, it's dead. Okay, let's just leave it dead. Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All, was originally to be titled Metal Up Your Ass, with a picture of a hand clutching a dagger emerging from a toilet. In World War II, the British, with the help of a professional magician, tricked the Germans into thinking that a British double agent had successfully sabotaged an airplane factory. The original tale of Aladdin was set in China, and he was actually Chinese. Oliver Sipple was the man who stopped an assassination attempt on US President Gerald Ford in 1975. However, the news also told that this man was gay, and because of that, it generated great controversy, so much so that the president only wrote a note thanking him, and his family disowned him. The Irish flag is green and white and orange because green represents Roman Catholics in the country, orange represents Protestants, and white representing the peace between them. Roman consular Manius Aquilius was executed by Mithridates of Pontus in 88 BC by having molten gold poured down his throat. Kenny G's song Going Home is a mega hit in China, played at the end of TV broadcasts and during the closing of shopping malls, food courts, and train stations to symbolize finishing one's activity and wrapping up for the day. Season 5 of Big Brother Germany lasted for 365 days and had a total of 60 house guests competing for a grand prize of 1 million euros. This season also holds the Guinness World Record for being the longest uninterrupted live television broadcast. In 2014, planning permission was granted to turn a disused Victorian building in London's East End into a museum of women's history. However, locals were shocked the next year when the museum was unveiled as the Jack the Ripper Museum, leading to numerous protests. You can actually pay to bathe in radioactive water in Japan. Radium Onsen is one of the oldest bathhouses in Osaka, dating back to 1952, which provides low radiant baths to people. This has been seen as a healthy thing by many in the country for a long time. The ocean contains 352 quintillion gallons of water. In metric, that's a lot of water. Jabba the Hutt was depicted as a yellow walrus-looking man in Marvel Comics' adaptation of A New Hope. This was before Disney bought both properties. Han Mabuki. The Cold War was partially prompted by an event in Ottawa when a Soviet cipher clerk working at the Soviet Embassy to Canada defected and exposed the Soviet spy network in Canada. This led to Allied countries discovering Soviet spies and informants within their own governments. The world's largest Michael Jackson memorabilia collection is in Equatorial Guinea, bought by the reigning dictator's son with stolen government funds. You know, you might call him a smooth criminal. Even though they're only 2.4 miles or almost 4 kilometers apart, Yesterday and Tomorrow Islands are 21 hours apart due to the international date line being located between them. There's a man with the surname Innocent on the FBI's most wanted list. Vitel Home Innocent has a reward of $2 million being offered for information leading to his arrest or conviction. English law, when discussing trademark infringement, uses the moron in a hurry standard. It was famously used in Apple Corp versus Apple Computer, where it was ruled that even a moron in a hurry wouldn't confuse the Beatles label with Apple Computer. The grandniece of China's last emperor is an artist who opened a gallery in Vancouver's Chinatown, where she sells her paintings and displays works dedicated to explaining the Qing dynasty. In order to host the Super Bowl, host cities must provide the NFL exclusive access to 3 top-quality 18-hole area golf courses at no cost, so it can host a tournament on Super Bowl weekend. The sun takes 225 million Earth years to make one full orbit around the center of the Milky Way. This is called the galactic year. Iggy Azalea got her stage name from the What's Your Prawn Star name game, the name of your first pet, and the street you grew up on. Before his career took off, Patrick Swayze and his wife had a carpentry business. Though Swayze didn't know much about carpentry at first, he learned a lot through books, and their business ended up being very profitable. At one point, they even renovated the kitchen of actress Jaclyn Smith. Hi, baby. The rare Sansa sighting. Hi, sweet. I love you, baby girl, my little ginger kitty. Happy New Year, sweetie. Want to say hi to everybody? Okay, you go down. That's my baby. Actress Catherine O'Hara, that you likely know best from Home Alone, has situs inversus, a rare condition where organs are mirrored from the typical left-right position in humans. During the COVID pandemic, several airlines offered flights to nowhere where the airplane would start and land in the same airport. Roman Emperor Claudius wrote a now lost book on the art of playing dice. The Ball Corporation, famous for their mason jars, became a defense manufacturer in aerospace engineering. Their products have been used on the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter and the James Webb Space Telescope, among other projects. They no longer directly produce glass jars. Pepsi and Coca-Cola have been involved in a cola war since the 1970s. It came to a head during Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, where Coca-Cola's HQ is, when Pepsi was one of the main sponsors and even ran a campaign with the slogan, "Hey Atlanta, thanks for hosting, we'll bring the drinks." Driving certain vehicles on certain days in the Philippines is banned. Depending on the number that the license plate ends with, determines which day that car is not allowed to be driven on public roads. There's a volcano on Mars that's about 2.5 times as tall as Mount Everest and about the diameter of France. On September 11, 2001, Washington-based lawyer Frank Rosano was staying at the Marriott World Trade Center Hotel. It was located at the base of the towers, and he awoke to the first plane crashing, but actually went back to bed. He then got up, turned on the news, took a shower, packed his things, and only decided to evacuate when the South Tower collapsed onto the hotel. And as always, skibbity-bop-bop-a-doo-bop, a skibble-dibble-doo. Yeah. Can I get a Hoya? And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and an extra special thank you to my channel members. Don't forget, there are clickable cards that you can click on screen right now if you want to watch some more content from me, including a bloopers reel, which is exclusive to channel members. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys.